Hearing number 8229. Hearing number 8229 is being conducted pursuant to Section 26.100.030 of the Revised Code of the City of St. Louis. The purpose of the hearing, which is being resumed today, is to determine whether the conditional use permit transferred to McLaren Markets STL Incorporated, CO Mohammed Abuya, to occupy 1823 McLaren as a convenience store with deli, subject to certain conditions, should be revoked. The conditional use permit is numbered as 116364. The conditions in questions are as follows. Condition 4. All signage must be applied for and approved by the Office of the Zoning Administrator. Condition 5. A valid contract with a commercial waste company shall be in place with disposal of trash generated by the business. The Office of the Zoning Administrator has the burden to prove the conditional use permit conditions have not been complied with. After all evidence of the Zoning Administrator has been presented, the Board will ask for additional testimony, if any, in support of the revocation. Then the conditional use permit holder will be given the opportunity to present evidence. Lastly, the Board will hear other testimony in opposition to this revocation, if any. Your testimony is being recorded. When you come forward, please state your name and address and be sworn in. As you testify, please direct your comments to the Board and not to those in the audience. Members of the audience are asked to remain silent and not coach the witness. During your testimony, members of this Board may have questions for you. Following the hearing, the Board will proceed with its regular agenda. Upon the conclusion of the regular agenda, the Board will deliberate, discuss, and vote on the hearing. The Board will notify the conditional use holder of its decision by mail in about 2 weeks. The Board of Public Service has in its possession the following documents which are being introduced into evidence. Item 1, a certified copy of the zoning code of the City of St. Louis. Item 2, the conditional use permit numbered as 116364, transferred to McLaren Markets STL Incorporated, CO Mohammed Abdulla, on February 28, 2017, to occupy 1823 McLaren as a convenience store with deli, subject to certain conditions. Item 3, a letter dated March 8, 2019, sent to McLaren Markets STL Incorporated, CO Mohammed Abdulla, warning of the violations of conditions number 4 and 5 that were found upon a recent site inspection and the potential for a revocation hearing should the violations not be corrected within 30 days dated the letter. Item 4, a memorandum dated July 30th, 2019 from the zoning inspector to the zoning administrator stating that upon that date, the zoning inspector found violations of conditions number 4 of the conditional use permit. This memo includes photographs of the noted violations. In item 5, certified letters dated August 20th, 2019 sent to McLaren Market STL Incorporated, CO Mohammed Abdulla, and Thomas S. Hills, property owner, from the Board Secretary providing notice of this hearing. At this time, the Board asks Representative of the Office of the Administrator, please come forward and be sworn in.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. My name is Myra Turner. I'm zoning inspector for the City of St. Louis.
Please proceed.
Thank you. Number 4 is still in violation. A lot of the signage has been removed, but you can look at the photos and see that there's still 1, 2, 3, 4. There's still 3 signs on the building, and I did not find a permit for them. One of them I know is non-permitted, and that's the one about the cigars.
So, in summary, we still have a violation of condition number 4, signage being applied for a permit. There are 3 signs currently remaining on the building, of which one would not be
Permitted.
able to be permitted as it's a cigar type signage.
Right.
The other 2 would be able to be permitted. However, it is also my assumption that an easy cure to this problem would be to remove all 3. Is that correct?
That would be correct, sir.
In your opinion, has there been any progress made since our last hearing?
Yes, there has been progress made because they took the banners down. The one sign that actually did have a permit, they took that one down too. So, I mean, yes, we have had some good stuff happen with that, but I still have to cite it as a violation because there's still some stuff there.
Understand. Have you had conversations with the conditional use permit holder?
No, I have not. Not since our last hearing, no.
Questions from the board?
With respect to the waste issue, condition number 5,
Yes, sir.
has that been addressed?
Yes, sir. They do have a private commercial dumpster with a contract.
Thank you.
Further questions from the board?
Yeah, I did have one. Ms. Turner, have you, of course you've been there personally, but have you spoken with the conditional use holder right in front of the store and basically pointed and showed he's very clear of what can be there and what cannot, is that correct?
I have not, since all of the banners and stuff have been taken down, no.
Okay.
I did allow him to know about the banners and the things that were there that needed to be gone. I did that before. Now, maybe in the process, and I'm just saying this, maybe in the process of him taking the banners down and doing what he did, he might have not understood fully about these other ones that's on this side of the building. But he did do what I asked him to do, per se, as far as showing him the big thing that needed to come off that building.
That's kind of where I was going, because I know letter writing is great. That's how we have to do things. But it would seem to me to be very clear to say this stays or this goes, and it can be, that process can take like 5 minutes, I assume,
Right.
as long as you have the tools or whatever.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Further questions from the board? Seeing none, thank you very much. If there's a representative from the Department of Health that wishes to testify, please come forward and be sworn in.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
State your name for the
My name is Patrick Nebian, the supervisor for food and beverage. Yeah, I went to 1823 Macklin this morning. In July, I was also there to see how the facility was. We had some non-critical violations then, and so this morning I expected that by the time I get there, those things would have been taken care of. Actually, on the grocery side, all the uncritical violations were taken care of. But in the carryout, they had two. One is a new one. There's somebody that is assisting Hussein there that has no certificate for performance. So I have told him to get him registered so that he can take the necessary course and become certified to be able to work in the kitchen. So because of that, we have two critical today in the carryout, but there is no critical in the grocery. And I'm hoping that the advice I gave him, he will take that seriously, because after 48 hours, I will send an inspector to go and find out whether they have been able to register. So that's where we are. As far as not allowing them to continue, I think that will be the extreme. For now, they are within the limits for them to operate.
I didn't understand the last part of what you said. I'm sorry.
I'm saying that we can't close them down as far as the food side is concerned now, because they can still operate if they fulfill the guideline
Okay.
certification.
So are you confident, after speaking to the conditional use permit holder, that any issues you noted will be taken care of?
Yes, that's what I hope.
You felt like they were positive about taking care of the issues?
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions for the Department of Health?
Patrick, can you speak on the non-critical violations that were identified when you visited the facility on Monday?
The one on the grocery side?
Yes.
The shelves, the reaching coolers, and they were not cleaned, they were not wiped down. So you find dust and, all over the place. So that's a non-critical. And also the toilet annexed to the grocery store, the plumbing work is not well done. In fact, I opened the tap and water started, splashing all over, my legs. So I told them about that they have to fix that. So that also not a critical one.
Further questions from the board for the Department of Health? Seeing none, thank you very much.
Thanks.
If there's anyone else present who wishes to testify that noted conditions have not been complied with, please come forward and be sworn in. Seeing none, the board asks the conditional use permit holder to please come forward and be sworn in.
Yes, ma'am. Sohaib Hussain. Yes, for the signs you told me about, I took them all down. I don't know which signs you're talking about. If I have a probably at ATM, sign says ATM outside on the building. That's probably, I don't know if I should take it down or not, but that's the only sign I have in the building.
Okay. So, as of today, you believe that you've taken all the signs down that are a problem?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you had a conversation with the Department of Health, and you're aware of these issues that were brought up?
Yes, he came over there to the store a few months ago, and he told me to take care of some stuff, and I'm still working inside of the store.
Okay.
Like he told me about the floor, we changed the whole floor, we bent the store from outside, from inside. We're trying to do much we can. But right now, some stuff is not done yet, but we're still working on it.
Okay. Are you fully willing to work with the zoning inspector to get signage permits and the Department of Health to resolve all those issues?
Yes, sir.
Questions from the board? Seeing none, thank you very much.
Thank you.
If there's anyone else present opposing this revocation that wishes to testify, please come forward and be sworn in. Seeing none, the matter concerning hearing number 8229 is now closed and submitted. Actually, I would like to introduce Exhibit A as the zoning inspector's photographs and report for today. Before I close the hearing.
Mr. President, before you close the hearing, I noticed that the audit person, is she still here? I can't see.
She is not.
Did she leave?
She stepped out again, yes.
I just wanted to make sure that she had an opportunity. The board. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. The matter concerning hearing number 8229 is now closed and submitted. The board will now proceed with the regular agenda. Could you call the roll, please?
Director Scobie.
Here.
Director Wilson.
Here.
Director Hayes.
Here.
Director Augustin is excused. Director Eccles.
Here.
Director Edwards.
Here.
And President Bradley.
Here we have a quorum. I'll call this meeting in order.
From the President, preliminary approval for letting number 8700, 2020 Capital Main Replacement Program, 6-inch main at Mary Avenue, City of St. Louis Water Division. Contract and bond for letting number 8691, asphalt overlay for Banshee Road, Navitt Road, to Missouri Bottom Road, St. Louis Lambert International Airport, St. Louis, Missouri. Addendum number 1 to the plans and specifications for letting number 8703 SLMPD property custody tactical relocation number 2017-02094, located at 2150 South 59th Street, St. Louis, Missouri 63110. Supplemental agreement number 1 to PSA number 1229 2019 Lindbergh Tunnel Inspection and Documentation, St. Louis Lambert International Airport. Amendment number 2 to Facilities Management Division Contract number 71881 for plumbing services, and recommendation that applications for festivals be approved subject to certain conditions as follows. Justine Peterson's Block Party, September 27, 2019, at Windsor Place between Grand and St. Alphonsus. Strange Folk Festival, September 27 through the 29th at Carondelet Park. Christ Church Cathedral, September 28, 2019, at 13 between Locust and Olive. St. Louis Veg Fest, October 13, 2019, at Forest Park World's Fair Pavilion. And Alzheimer's Walk Run, October 27, 2019, Enterprise Center using 14th to Chestnut to 18th to Market. From the Director of Public Utilities, recommendation that the following emergencies be approved as follows. To repairs to fiber optic cable at Kings Highway in Manchester, and replacement of a rooftop HVAC unit which has a cracked heat exchanger and is over 25 years old. From the Director of Public Utilities and Streets, joint recommendation that the following permits for MCI Metro access be approved subject to certain conditions as follows. Existing handhold located at rear of 4444 Union, boring place conduit for new fiber south on the west of Geraldine for approximately 1,810 feet to an existing handhold at the front of 4170 Geraldine. Start at existing handhold located at 8001 North Broadway, boring place conduit for new fiber 1,428 feet south along the west side of North Broadway to another existing handhold at approximately 150 feet south of 7760 East Railroad Avenue, and place one new handhold at the front of 5305 Delmore for small distribution cabinet. Recommendation that the following permits be approved subject to certain conditions. AT&T placing a new buried 4-inch conduit for 448 feet on Goodfellow between existing manholes 4017 and 4018, placing a new 1,800 pair copper cable inside the conduit. The 4 right lane will need to be closed temporarily while this work is being done. Starting address is 4690 Goodfellow, and the ending address is 448 feet south of 4690 Goodfellow near the intersection of Goodfellow and Stratford. Charter, starting at the address of 3558 South Jefferson side entrance, entering the building. Board down Miami to the east across the driveway to the first pole across from 2224 Miami. Stay on the same side of the street as the building. From the Director of Parks, Recreation, and Forestry, recommendation that the following permits be approved. SSM Health, Cardinal Glennon Foundation, permission to fly drone in Forest Park to film an event on October 5th, 2019. And the following events are recommendation that it be approved subject to certain conditions. Star Fire Corporation, permission to display fireworks in Forest Park at Central Fields for the Great Forest Park Balloon Race on September 20th, 2019. And Gateway Fireworks display in conjunction with the Leukemia Lymphonolia Walk on September 28, 2019 for fire display. Recommends approval. From the Director of Public Safety, we have the conditional uses.
Good afternoon, Board. My name is Dylan Mosier, Conditional Use Hearing Officer for the City of St. Louis, representing the Building Commissioner. Per Board Order Number 766, transmitted herewith are recommendations for the following conditional use agenda applications. Approval with conditions is recommended for 6 applications: 5143 Cologne, 5349 Claxton, 4212 West Page, 4878 Page, 4902 Natural Bridge, and 1641 Tower Grove. Denial is recommended for 1 application, 4735 Morganford. I request these recommendations be approved as submitted.
Are there any questions from the board on the conditional uses?
Motion to approve the conditional uses as submitted.
Second.
Second for approval of today's conditional uses. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Scobie. Aye. Director Wilson. Director Hayes.
Aye.
Director Augustine is excused. Director Eccles.
Aye.
Director Edwards.
Aye.
And President Bradley.
Aye. Conditional uses are approved. Hearing number 8229, McLaren Markets STL, 1823 McLaren, as a convenience store with deli. We heard today from the zoning inspector, from the zoning administrator's office, that there is still a violation of condition number 4, that there were 3 signs that were up upon her inspection. We heard from the Department of Health that there were some issues that were noted with cleaning and the drive-up window when they were there. We heard from the conditional use permit holder that he had removed all the signage that was in question and that he was more than willing to respond to the comments and issues of the Department of Health, but they were still working on the facility and it wasn't complete at this time. So with that little bit of a history, I'd like to open the floor up for any comments from the board. Seeing none, I'll take a motion, please.
I'll make it appears there's been a concerted effort by the conditional use holder. There's still some things to be rectified. I make a motion not to revoke, but I think these are easily, readily available, solvable issues that maybe in 2 weeks max. That's my solve these problems in 2 weeks without a revocation, if that makes sense.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and seconded. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Scobie.
Aye.
Director Wilson.
Aye.
Director Hayes.
Aye.
Director Augustine is excused. Director Eccles.
Aye.
Director Edwards.
Aye.
And President Bradley.
Aye. Not revoked. I'd like to turn your attention to our meeting minutes from Tuesday, September 10th, 2019. Are there any questions or comments on the meeting minutes presented? Seeing none, take a motion, please.
Approve last week's minutes?
Second.
Second for approval of last week's minutes. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Scobie.
Aye.
Director Wilson.
Aye.
Director Hayes.
Aye.
Director Augustine is excused. Director Eccles.
Aye.
Director Edwards.
Aye.
And President Bradley.
Aye, the minutes are approved. Today's agenda, questions or comments on our agenda?
I have one. Under the president, about 5 items down, you have amendment for Facilities Management's Division. It's written amendment number 3, but I heard amendment number 2. And I wanted clarification.
It's amendment number 3. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, I could have misunderstood too.
Okay. Any further questions or comments on today's agenda? Seeing none, can I have a motion, please?
Move to approve the agenda.
Second?
We move to second approval of today's agenda. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Scobie.
Aye.
Director Wilson.
Aye.
Director Hayes.
Aye.
Director Augustine is excused. Director Eccles.
Aye.
Director Edwards.
Aye.
And President Bradley.
Aye, today's agenda is approved. Motion for adjournment, please.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.